Hey there, Wingo. Today's strategy of the week comes in the form of Class Dojo. Class Dojo is a great way. It's really one of the most amazing ways I've ever seen of managing student behavior, giving class rewards, and correcting inappropriate behavior. I think you'll be blown away at how much students get into this and are pumped about how many points they get. Not only that, but at the same time, it's instantly communicated to parents, and at the same time, on top of that, this information can be shared with, let's say, specials teachers, and all a specials teacher has to do is log into their Classroom Dojo account, and your students will be there. And so they can document behavior and so forth, just like that. So it's basically a clipboard system, but done digitally, and as soon as something's put on the clipboard, it's communicated to the parent. So a really good way to track student behavior, and I'll show you some cool features here in just a second. So first thing we need to do is we'll get started by signing up. And so right here is the sign up button. You'll go to classdojo.com. You'll click sign up. You'll click teacher. And then you go through and you fill this information out and you click sign up. Now once you click sign up, it's going to ask you what school you teach at. You'll type in Wingo Elementary and then you'll click join that school. Alright, so once you join that school, I'm going to go ahead and log in so you can see what the page looks like. I think you're going to love this. If you would give it a try, I think you'll really like it. So once you log in here, you got your name, and then you've got the school that you teach at. You put a little logo there or an icon or your name, whatever you want to put. And then you'll have a demo class. What I want to do is you're going to click Add Class. You're going to name the class. I'm going to suggest that we all name our classes the same way. You'll put your name and then what grade that you teach. So let's say Bradley teaches 6th grade. Let's do because I've already created one 6th grade. Let's do Bradley 7th just for fun. And I'm going to scroll down through here, find 7th grade, and I'm going to click Add Class. And then I'm going to enter my students' names. Notice up here I can copy and paste a roster from Word. I can copy and paste from Excel. I find it's pretty easy to just add names. You could type first and last name, obviously, but I'm going to type just first name while we're doing this. And that's good enough just to show you. And it creates icons. You can go in and edit those little monster icons if you want to. And we're done editing. Here comes a really cool feature that I think you're going to like. You click the next button, and it automatically generates a parent letter that goes home. So I'll click Save. It downloads. And then I'm going to open it so you can see this parent letter. Here's the parent letter for Bab. Obviously a mistype or a interesting name to say the least. The student code. Students are really not going to use this. I don't expect students to use this at all, but the parent code is going to be the important one. You'll send this home to parents. They download the Class Dojo app on their iPhone or their Android device, and they put in this code, and every single time you update their classroom behavior, they get a notification. So it's going to be a window for parents into your class. Kids will love it. Parents will love it. Here's a parent signature sheet, and it automatically generated that for all my students. So for whatever that's worth, there's that. Now we click Next. It'll also generate them in different languages if you choose to do that, Bengali, whatever. And then now we're done with invites. Now here's where we get to the behaviors and skills. Class Dojo goes ahead and gives you all 4, 5, 6 skills to work with. If you like them, keep them. If you don't like them, you can edit them and change them. What I like is you can add behaviors that you want. So let's just say we want to put being brave. I'm not saying do this, but if you want to do that, you can do being brave. However many points you want to do. Let's say we do 2 points for being brave, and we give that a gold ribbon. We click Save, and there it is. I can add as many as I want or take away as many as I want. Well, what about corrective behaviors? Let's say here are our corrective behaviors. Well, let's say we want to do one for, I don't know, no pencil. I don't know that I would do that one, but let's say no pencil is -1. We're going to click Save. And so there it is. Once we're satisfied with our needs work or consequences and positives. We're going to click Finish, and there's our class. Of course, your class will have 15, 20, 25 students in it, however your class is set up. So let's start giving out some points here. Let's say old Bab does a great job on task. Pop up, Bab gets a pop up there. Let's say Bill is on task and helping others. Let's say Robert is messing around, not doing what they're supposed to do. They're talking out of turn. So Robert gets a -1. Look over here, whole class. Let's say your whole class is walking and working together, walking down the hallway, being great. They get a compliment. Whole class gets points there. Now, if you notice, Robert is back to 0 because he was -1. A couple of things I want you to see is one of the first things you might do, you don't have to do this, but it does help things out. You can do attendance in Class Dojo. Let's say for some reason Scott's not here today. I can click Save Attendance. Where that comes in handy is this little randomizer. Let's say you're going to call on a student. You can click Random. It pulls that student up. You ask the student a question. If they answer appropriately and they participate, maybe you give them a participation point. And then you can go right back to the randomizer and see who it calls on, give them a participation point. Okay, again, totally random. It may call on the same kid twice. We just don't know. We can also award multiple kids. We could say that Paul and Joe are doing great. We go down here and we click Give Points. We talk about what we're giving points for. Both of those guys were being brave. And there it is. If you want a class timer, there's a class timer associated with this. You can start the class timer, pause the class timer, however you want to do that. Okay, so that is basically the gist of running a class. I want to show you the reports real quick before we do the last thing. View Reports is going to pull up what we did this week, whole class, or I can do what we did yesterday, last week. I could pull this all the way back to the beginning of the year or a custom date range. I can do this for each student. Let's say I'm having a parent-teacher conference with Robert's parents. Here we are. It's going to pull up what Robert did this week, or it will pull up what Robert did last month or all time. And so you're able to see that. You can click and do a spreadsheet. Multiple things you can do with these reports. I think it's great for our parent-teacher conferences if we decided to do that. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is I want to show you what happens when a class is shared with you. So if you would just bear with me here. If you'll notice, I have one class. It's called Bradley 7th. Let's pretend now that I'm going to hide this class. Let's pretend now that I'm a specials teacher and I have no classes here. I want to show you what happens when another teacher shares a class with me. So I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in as a classroom teacher. Okay, so pretend along with me here that this is a classroom teacher. I'm just going to pull up a class, fake class 2, and actually I'm going to create another class. I'm going to archive this class, and I'm just going to create another class and call it fake class 3 because I'd already shared fake class 2. Fake class 3, and we're going to do first grade, add a class. And we're just going to type in some names. It really doesn't matter. We'll just do this really quickly. Okay, we're done adding students. And of course, it's going to ask me to print off a parent email. And I'm going to skip that because we're going really fast here. I'm satisfied with all those. And now, here are my students. Again, I'm pretending that this account, Mr. Elementary, is the classroom account. And so I'm going to give a few awards here. Alright, I'm going to give this one is messing around, not doing what they're supposed to do. So now, there you see those, and we got this one here. I want to show you what happens when I share this. I'm the regular classroom teacher, and I want to share this with the specials teacher. I go up to Settings, I click Edit Class, I click Sharing, and I'm going to share this with the specials teacher, or any other teacher that I want to share this with for that matter. And I click Invite. Now watch what happens when I go back to my other account. When I go back to the other account, you see, now I have a class pending. I accept that, and now it shows up just like it's my class. If you'll notice, all of those awards are there. Let's say this student is doing amazing in class, they're helping others, there it is. That will show up on the regular teacher account. That will also be sent to the parents. So it's really a fantastic overall program. I'm a huge fan of the reports. I think that's going to give us great information to share with parents as well. So that is Class Dojo. If you have any questions about Class Dojo, I know that Monica Wiggins is using Class Dojo and having some great success with it. I just encourage you to give it a try and see what you think. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I think it's an amazing tool that I think the specials teachers and regular education teachers would be glad to use. So thankful that you watched, and have a great day, Wingo.